remember summer in its wake. The heart of September left nothing more to say. To show me what it's worth, I wanna hear you say these words. From the light into the dark, it'll be alright. Did I speak too soon? I wanna harbor you through all the ways this life could be so cruel. If the storm breaks through, I'll be the light for you, holding on when everything it feels so blue. Letting it linger, what I thought was everything I had of you, wrapped round my finger like a puppet on a string. So where are you right now? Find me when the stars turn out. All you vampires gather around here in the night. Did I ask too much? Maybe it's not enough for now. We close the door and feel the rush. Or am I answering something close to home? It's bigger than the two of us would own. Fallen for you in a way that I thought that I never do. Oh, it taught me the way to never be used. I'll make a promise to you, alleviate every sky, be honest and true. All the games, there's no excuse, no more running away. Did I speak too soon? I wanna harbor you through all the ways this life could be so cruel. If the storm breaks through, I'll be the light for you, holding on when everything it feels so blue. I'll be there with you still, till the darkness starts to spill over you and everything that we've ever built.
Ahora sí va en serio. Ahora seguro. Tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Empezamos.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, man. I'm joined by my good mate, Dan Potts, mate. We're going to be talking title race. Get your questions in the chat. If you've got any questions for Potsy, then I'm sure he's going to be happy to answer them. Get him in, man. Smash these likes up on the way. Make sure you guys are subbed up to the channel as well if you're new. But the title race is definitely heating up, man. I can't lie. It's now down to 4 points. Obviously, the big game in April between City and Arsenal at the Etihad, that's going to be crazy as well. But yeah, Potsy, man, how you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, man. Aside from last night, I'm good, bruv. I've had a good day. I've had a good night time with family and friends, and been out to London, done a bit of filming for the preview, and I've had a good day. But yeah, fans are very strange creatures, brother. Particularly Arsenal fans, and we don't always align, bruv. We don't always agree. So yeah, I've got a lot to say on this matter, bruv. But I hope you're well, G. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming on. Yeah, I'm good, man. I did a hate watch last night. I did a pray along. You know what I mean? That's where we're
Pray
at.
along. Pray along.
I did a pray along. I prayed to the football gods, to the gods, and they delivered me up. They delivered me 2 drop points for Arsenal. I had a feeling, I'm going to ask you about this, right? Because before the game, I was eating my tea, yeah, and basically my plan was to go live, do a stream about City and that, and then do the watch along. And I was having my tea, and I was sitting there thinking, you know what? I'm going to delay. I'm not going to do the stream before the watch along because I've got a feeling that this actually, Brentford might do something here. Obviously, because of their home record. Their home record's mental. Like they've only lost 2 games all season at home, v City and Forest. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to sack this stream off. I'm going to do the watch along, and then I'm going to see what happens. Did you have that feeling as well going into the game, or was you confident that you was going to win? Like, where was you at? Because I kind of felt going into it, man, that Brentford might have something for you, bro.
Yeah. How did I feel? I always feel nervous and concerned when there's pressure on Arsenal, bruv. I always feel like when there's a game where there's 0 pressure, Arsenal normally pull through it. But the minute we have any form of pressure, whether that be early stages of the season, where there be a Man City slip up, or where there be a game where Liverpool and City face each other, I always feel like there's extra pressure on that game because there can't really be pressure in like October, November, but I feel like there's an opportunity that we might miss if we could have an opportunity to either close a gap or pull away from a rival. I always feel like Arsenal slip up. And I think there's been examples of that this season already where we've drawn to Forest and Liverpool, where we've drawn to Sunderland in the last minute of the game, where we've lost against Aston Villa away in the last kick of the game. I don't feel like there's been many pressure games where we've got through. Now, you could flip that round and say we were able to get through a semi-final. We went to a pressurized game against Leeds and battered them, and we were able to beat teams here and there. But I just feel like there's kind of less pressure on some of those games. I think everybody expected us to go through to the final once. We've beaten them 3-2 at the Stamford Bridge. So I feel like there's a kind of different pressure. The pressure here was we pull away, we keep the distance, and we have an opportunity to go 9 points clear if we win the 2 games in the Premier League, because you don't play midweek. We now obviously play Wolves midweek because we can't play them on the Carabao Cup final weekend, right? So we could have gone 9 points clear. Now we still can't go 7 points clear, and the pressure's back on in your kind of corner. However, I just felt like there was a little bit of pressure on that. Now, they're a good side. I think people have taken away how good Brentford are, by the way.
Yeah, they are good. They are good.
Yeah, I think because Arsenal dropped points there, it's all about how crap Arsenal are. But actually, when you look at Brentford, they're a very good side. And I think they're probably the overachievers this season. Feel like Keith Andrews has probably put himself forward as one of the managers of the season so far, because nobody had Brentford going for Europe.
I thought they were going to get relegated, me.
Same. Before a ball was kicked at them going down, and I realised quite quickly how wrong I was. That Igor Thiago is a problem. That Otara is a very good player. They've got very good hard-working midfielders. Damsgaard's creative, and defensively they're pretty good. So set pieces, Keith Andrews was their set-piece coach, and they launched the ball into that box without Michael Coyote, and it's a problem, mate. So I do feel like they're an issue. However, I did have us winning the game 1-0, but in the back of my mind, I thought, yeah, we could draw this, but let me not say that. Do you know what I mean? Let me just be optimistic, because, sometimes I get kind of called what's the term, glass half empty as opposed to half full. But I think that's just my PTSD of the last few seasons under this manager and team. And I feel like the pressure's on now, bruv. If we didn't have to play you at the Etihad, I'd say there's a little bit less pressure. I feel like that game could be massive. But I think
that's why I don't have Villa in the title race, bro, because people get it wrong, man. People talk about Villa as they don't have to play Arsenal. That's fucking bad.
Yeah,
when you're behind a team and you're running out of games. There's only 12 games left. You need to play the team so you can take points off them. So as a City fan, I'm happy that we play Arsenal at home. Now, I'm not saying we'll win. I hope we will win, and we probably need to win the game to win the league. But I'd much rather play Arsenal than not play Arsenal, because I need to catch you up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, that game, both of us have to go into that kind of game believing we're going to win. So when I look at the title race and I start going maths and counting up points, which is always quite dangerous to do, by the way, because half the time your predictions don't come true.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. However, when you do that, I look at it and I'm kind of looking at the title race as, well, we've got 3 points at the Etihad. You're looking at the title race thinking we've got 3 points at the Etihad. So both of our predictions are going to be different anyway, because I can't go into that Etihad game saying, just don't lose. Just don't lose. And if we do that again, I truly believe it's all on the manager, because we have to go to the Etihad and win. And I'm talking about, even let's say it's a miracle happens and we're 15 points clear of you, right? You have a crumble. You can't win for 4, let's say, and we go 15 points clear. I still want to beat you at the Etihad. I don't go throw the kids out and go, I'll just chuck that game now. Like, I still want to beat you at the Etihad. I think we should go to these games and beat these teams, not draw or just find not to lose. Like, we did it back in the Invincible season, brother, and we did it back when we were back in '89. We beat Liverpool at Anfield. Yeah, we won the league at Old Trafford in 2002. We had to go and win the league at White Hart Lane. We didn't win the game. We drew 2-2, but we should have won the game, and we went out to win the game. I feel like we've gone a couple of seasons, just don't lose. Just don't lose, because we'll beat the other teams. When you do that, that's fine, but you've got to go and beat the other teams. And we weren't able to do that against Aston Villa that year against you in 23-24. We weren't able to do that against West Ham, Southampton or Liverpool the season before that. And we threw both seasons away to yourselves. Now, that is why. If this was a Liverpool chasing us down, or if it was a Manchester United or a Chelsea and City had crumbled like they did last year, I wouldn't be too phased. But you guys know how to do it, man. You've got the know-how. You've got players that know how to do it. The Fodens, the Bernardo Silvas, the Haalands, the Rodris, Diaz, and you've got the manager who knows how to do it. Unfortunately, brother, I'd love to say that for us, but we don't have that. I know we're a good team.
And that's why I've said for years that I think Arteta's missed a massive trick in not focusing early in his career at Arsenal on those domestic trophies.
Facts, bro.
And it's not because like it's just an easy thing to beat him with. I remember you come to the Etihad, I think it was 3 years ago. You was top of the table, yeah. You come to the Etihad and we'd not played you because the Queen died, yeah. So the City game got moved. And you come to City in the FA Cup, right? And that was the first game of the season. It was in like December time, City v Arsenal, yeah. And it was, I think it was FA Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, yeah. FA Cup. And he rotated the back line. I think we beat you 1-0. And I thought to myself, what the fuck is he doing? Like, so this is why I think a lot of people are talking about this Carabao Cup final. Yeah, and now we can talk about it, but there's still 4 matches. City might lose all 4, Arsenal might lose all 4, and then it's fucking irrelevant anyway. But on the basis that sort of the points gap stays 4 points, 5 points, 3 points, 6 points, whatever, stays within touching distance, that Carabao Cup game, I think, will be massive. And I think it almost is more important for Arsenal than City, because for Arsenal players, yeah, and everybody really associated with the club needs to believe they can get across the line. I was on a show with who was I on a show with yesterday? Oh, I was on a show with Hussam and who was the Chelsea rep on there? Oh, Souls. I don't know if you know him. He's an Arsenal fan. And we were speaking about it. And Hussam was going on about, oh, well, Arsenal have easier fixtures than City. I said, Hussam, you've got this completely twisted. You've got the wrong understanding. For Arsenal, it's not about which fixtures are easy and which fixtures are not. It's about the pressure moments. Yeah. You know, when Arsenal play fucking Wolves on Wednesday night, yeah, I'll be watching the game because there might be a chance that Arsenal might drop points there because it's a pressure game. Yeah. That's where Arsenal have struggled over the years. Yeah, Arsenal have got a good record against the top 6. If you look at Arsenal's record in the last couple of years against the big teams, they've got a good record. Yeah, a couple of years ago, drop points at West Ham, drop points at Southampton. So it's irrelevant talking, when you talk about Arsenal in the title running, it's irrelevant talking about, oh, which fixtures do they have that are hard or not? Obviously, we can look at them, but every game is a cup final. Because until Arsenal get across the line, there will always be doubts about their mentality. Yeah, and last night, again, it's another knock for Arsenal and Arsenal fans on that mentality thing. Because yesterday, Potts here, I expected, after City obviously done what they've done in the last couple of games, we beat Liverpool at Anfield, we beat Fulham, we put the pressure back on Arsenal. I expected Arsenal yesterday to come out all guns blazing. Yeah, and fucking just get on it and just dominate and everything, yeah? And, bro, it was a complete opposite. You should have lost the game, probably, if I'm being honest, you should probably lost the game at 4-1, maybe 4-2, because Martinelli had a good chance at the end. But that Igor had chances, David Raya made a couple of saves, and it was just such a weird game. And listen, that can happen, man. I'm not trying to say, like, this is just par for the course with Arsenal, but I do think until Arsenal get across the line, bro, I do think there's always going to be question marks about the mentality. And just quickly before you come back in, I was just on the way back from the gym. Then I stuck the that show that Turkish does, you know, the one with the 4 guys on. You've been on it before.
Cannons.
Yeah, the loose cannons thing. And he was speaking to the it was that guy who was on AFTV that left.
James or Jordan?
James, yeah.
James.
And that James said, you know, in the last 6 games, so you've won 2 out of your last 6 Premier League games, right? Which is pretty bad. I didn't even realise that until yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
2 out of 6. Yeah.
So you've won 2 out of 6. You know the 2 games that you won, both of those games that you won, you played before City. The other 4, City played first, put the pressure on Arsenal, and then you drop points. Now it's a small sample size, Yeah, so maybe we can't say 100% it's that is a thing, but it's quite interesting how everybody talks about Arsenal's mentality. Do they have the ability to get across the line? And out of the last 6 games, the 2 games that you won were the 2 with the least pressure because you played first. The 4 games that where City played first and Arsenal had the opportunity to do something, the pressure was on, drop points.
You're right. And we play first in the majority of the last games. I think West Ham's the only one that you play first in next. We play before you at Newcastle, before you at Leeds, and before you at Forest. So you probably find that Arsenal might go on a nice little run now, 3 wins, because there's zero pressure about what Man City have done. But this is my point, LB. It's never really been about, oh my God, that game is huge. How are you going to win? It depends on the pressure of that game. So if you're playing Sunderland, let's say, for example, and you think at home Man City haven't played yet, there's not much pressure on that. So we won quite comfortably. But if you change that Sunderland game to a weekend, yeah, and you play after Man City, say you played Liverpool at Anfield at 12:30, right, and had that big win that you had, probably would have lost to Sunderland or drew the game because that's the pressure. That pressure game at Sunderland, that wasn't a pressure game, bruv, because we had you at you had Liverpool at Anfield. Everybody thought you'd drop or lose. When you went 1-0 down with 9 minutes to go, everyone definitely thought you'd drop points, let alone win the game. And then what you've done is you've handled the pressure and showed a bit of mentality. Players like Rodri and Bernardo, no surprise they were 2 of your better players because they've been pretty poor, in my opinion, most of the season. And then you look at that game and they're like, well, we're the ones who know how to do it. We'll drag you across the line. And last night, I'm looking at players that we have to drag us across the line, and I'm seeing Declan Rice pass instead of shoot. Martinelli can't handle the pressure, takes a touch instead of hitting it first time. You've got players like Odegaard and Eze that haven't been able to step forward. You've got players like Saka coming on and being invisible. You've got players like Gabriel and Timber who have been consistently good for us and seen as kind of ones that can drag us across the line, whether it be a goal from set piece or keeping a clean sheet. They were both poor last night. It's the worst I've seen Timber and Gabriel collectively for a long time. So I've got to be real. There's a lot of players that worry me individually, but essentially we still go back to the same thing. You know, there's never been a doubt this season, LB, whether Arsenal are a good side. I think everyone can see Arsenal are a good side, right? Whether they're a great side or not, we'll decide in May. Do they have the mentality and do the manager have the mentality to get us across the line? Because the manager can win us games. The manager can probably drive us into the deep stages of all 4 competitions. But when it matters and when he can get us across the line, can he get us across the line? And I'll say this about City lastly. If Manchester City do win this league, it's actually quite embarrassing for Arsenal. I'm not saying you're a shambles of a side because you're not. You've got some unbelievable players and a world-class elite manager. But you're nowhere near the Manchester City that I was scared.
No, I listen, I completely agree. I asked my mate this morning, right? I said to my mate, I said in a chat, yeah. I said, what did I say to him? I said, how many times, have Manchester City won the league when we've dropped points in more than 10 games? Because we've already dropped points in 10 games this season in the Premier League. And he said twice. That was it. It was 13-14, which was
Liverpool,
Pellegrini.
Liverpool, yeah. The Gerrard Slippy G, wasn't it?
Yeah. And 20-21, we got 86 points. So, you know, we're like, if we do win the league this year, it will probably be our lowest points total ever to win the league. And we'll come on to City a little bit more in more detail. But yeah, 100% agree. Arsenal are a good side. But you know, I always said to you at the start of the season, didn't I, Potsy? Your attack does not scare me one little bit. There's no doubt about your defense. Your defense is elite. Yeah, obviously yesterday it was a bit shaky. And also leaving Gabriel was a bit weird. Even David Raya was a bit sus, yeah. But whatever, you got Rice and Zubimendi protecting him. But I've never been convinced with that attack. And I said this isn't reactionary. I told you this at the start of the season. Yeah, I look at Gyökeres and think, okay, I didn't really know what I was going to get with Gyökeres at the start of the season. Obviously, the guy bagged 100 goals in 2 years, so I expected him to score goals, but you can't really say out until you see him. Saka, for me, I think has been run into the ground. You know, he had 5 touches yesterday.
Yeah, it was so bad from him. He wasn't anywhere near.
He's had a pitch for 25 minutes. But anyway, I think he's been running to the ground. Yeah, and I think, you know, he's probably getting the sort of Foden situation where they've both just been spammed out for both clubs for like the last 2-3 years. They both just look fucked.
I agree, actually. Yeah.
And then Trossard and Martinelli, I don't think either of them are good enough to be starting players for Arsenal, which is why I said you should have gone all out for Rodrigo in the summer. So that attack for me doesn't scare me, right? And I think you are seeing a little bit of that in some of the games where you drop points. Like yesterday, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, how do Arsenal score goals like from open play? It seems like it's just cross. Who's the dictator? Where's the Cherky? The Kevin De Bruyne? Yeah? Or you want to use Arsenal players? Where's the Ozil? Where's the Santi Cazorla? Where's the player in that midfield, who's going to break the lines with a top pass? Because Odegaard's not really done it for 3 years, maybe? He had a great year, like maybe 3 years ago when he looked like the next fucking Kevin De Bruyne or the next David Silva, and then he just dropped off. Eze is just, I don't really know what he's meant to be doing in the side. So you've got no real creator in that central area, which is why you should never have got rid of Nwaneri, in my opinion. Madueke is just a bit of a take-on merchant. All right, he's probably done better than everybody expected, but he's basically just a take-on merchant. Yeah, Saka's fucking just doesn't know what he's doing. He needs he just write this season off. He needs a full rest in the summer, which he's not going to get because of the World Cup. And then your two left wingers are kind of mid. So I'm kind of looking at it and thinking, is this a club that just relies on sort of set pieces, which you're very good at, and crosses? Because if that doesn't come off for you, like, how do Arsenal actually score goals? And this is why I think Arteta does get stick a lot off a large parts of the Arsenal fan base, because when you're not scoring set pieces, I don't know how you break down defenses, which is why I personally believe that if you're not an elite level club, you should just park the bus against Arsenal. Because I think you'll struggle to break them. I think you struggle to break them down, bro.
Yeah, look, you talk a lot of sense there, bro. If I'm honest, I can't come back and say you're being harsh. I think you're being realistic and factual in what you've said. I do feel it is a system and Arteta problem more so than it is the individual players. And the kind of evidence I have for that is, as much as I don't think Gabriel Jesus is an elite level centre forward, I do think he's a good footballer that can chip in with goals, but we haven't seen that much consistently at Arsenal. Kai Havertz has scored goals at Arsenal. Gyökeres got 97 goals in 2 seasons. Bukayo Saka, for me, carried Arsenal, albeit not so much silverware, but carried us through games for 3-4 seasons. Martinelli, when he burst onto the scene, everyone thought, wow, this kid's going to go to the very top. Trossard was bought from Brighton because he was balling out and scoring goals there. But Eze, he was probably Crystal Palace's best player. Everybody said, what a signing. And Martin Odegaard, like you say, come from Real Madrid as the wonder kid that was going to be the next level Kevin De Bruyne. And none of them have managed to go forward. And the reason none of them have managed to go forward is because of a system that Mikel Arteta has installed, which is very much rigid and defensive-minded. Now, you can look at that 2 ways and say, actually, there's a caveat to that. 2 seasons ago, we scored the most goals that we've ever scored, and we got to 89 points, only 1 point off the Invincibles year. So you can say that he has been attacking, but it hasn't been in every single game. There's been games which have been quite rigid. And people say, why is that? I think it's a little bit of PTSD from Mikel Arteta as well. And I keep asking him to stop being so kind of negative. I said this geezer would wear a life jacket in the bath every night. You know, this is what he's like, bro. He's so scared and risk averse. He's very I mean, last night's a typical example. You say you watched the game. We went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And
good header, by the way, Madueke. Good cracking.
He was awful, by the way, Madueke, but he did score a good header. And it was a cracking header. Yeah, it's great cross from Incapio. I thought was one of our best players. The only one who could, show he did had something about him. But we shit ourselves, LB. We went 1-0 up and we shit ourselves. And from there, they were launching crosses and long throw-ins, and we just looked scared. And David Raya's come out today saying he was really disappointed about the way he was treated from corners. And come on, man, we're one of the most physical teams from corners. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like taste your own medicine. You don't like it. Do you know what I mean? It's rather embarrassing. But I've got to be honest, I don't feel like Arsenal in attack have been good since that 22-23 season. Because although we were blitzing teams at the back end of 23-24, do you remember we went on that run where
Yeah. I remember you beating Max at West Ham 5-0 or something.
Yeah, 6 at West Ham, 5 at Burnley.
From the edge of the box,
that's the one, right? So we had 6 at West Ham and Sheffield United, 5 at Burnley, 5 at Palace. There was another 5 at someone else, and I thought, here we go. By the start of that season, we were rigid, bro. You remember Kai Havertz in midfield having to get a pity penalty at Bournemouth. It wasn't working out for us with 1-0s, 2-1s. I remember we conceded 3 at Luton. We beat them 4-3 with a last-minute header from Declan Rice. It was all just scraping across the line to start with. And then we started to blitz and get into it. But really and truly, the team that I saw that had the most attacking flair was in 22-23, where we just went all out for it. And the problem, what happened there was, bruv, we threw it away against games at West Ham, Liverpool and Southampton. Did it later on in the season, little cluster results against Brighton and Forest. And I remember Arteta thinking, wow, we've gone too much here. Now, instead of going, we just need 2, 3, 4 more players, he went scratch it up, throw it away, let's start again, let's go rigid. And since then, bruv, we've never really been that free-flowing, attack-minded side. We've never been that one that plays beautiful football, free-flowing, all the open play goals are coming. It has been, how can we use our weapons, which I think are good. I think our set pieces are great. I think our corners are good.
They are elite.
They're unbelievable. I think the 19 teams we're scoring against need to look at themselves as opposed to Arsenal looking at themselves. But what I will say is, there is absolutely nothing wrong with scoring set pieces. They can't be the only way you score goals, bruv.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? We have to incorporate them into our game and be a part of how we score goals on top of the open play goals. And we've done that this season sometimes. I think it's unfair to say Arsenal only score from corners because we did blitz, Spurs and Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. In fact, in the Champions League, we've been brilliant. Can't really get any better in the Champions League. So, yeah, and just to touch lastly on what you said about the Carabao Cup, I think it matters more from an Arsenal perspective than a Manchester City perspective, because Manchester City have got across the line. They don't need to win this League Cup, Man City. They've won it millions of times. They don't need to win a trophy. Your team don't need to win a trophy. Arsenal's team do. And I still think that if Arsenal were to lose the Carabao Cup, a lot of people will say they'll still win the league because they're farther ahead. I'd say we've got less chance of winning the league if we lose that Carabao Cup final, because, again, it's something we threw away or had slipped through our hands. Because I think we should beat you in the Carabao Cup. I do think Arsenal on paper have the better squad, but it's about up here and if you can get across it. If you write on paper the Arsenal squad, it's better than Man City's. You might have a better 11 in certain positions, but I think in terms of squad, I look at your bench and our bench and I think we have no excuses. We have to get this across the line. So I think whoever wins that cup will probably go on to win the league, if I'm honest with you, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do think it's massive. I think it's obviously, like, I'm not trying to big it up too much because either team could fall off until the final and the final becomes irrelevant for the league. But if it does stay where it is right now, yeah, I do think it's massive. Like I said, I think Arsenal just need, because I've said all year, I think when Arsenal win that first trophy, I think they'll go and start winning multiple trophies. Yeah, but it's to kickstart it. You know what I mean? It's to kickstart it. You need to get across the line. And you see fucking Declan Rice, man, after the games when you drop points, and that guy looks fucking fuming all the time. By the way, I had a big argument with Big Al on a channel recently, about your captain.
Surprise?
Yeah, surprise. Because I said, how Odegaard's your captain over Declan Rice, to me, is absolutely insane. And he defended it. He was like, no, it's fine. Odegaard's a better captain than that. And I was like, for me,
he'll defend anything. He'll defend anything the manager does because he loves him. He's in love with him. But I don't personally feel like Odegaard is anywhere near leadership and quality and captain level at Arsenal. And I look at the goal last night. I know it wasn't really his fault. He shouldn't, I don't know why he's marking that guy. It's a shambles, bruv, and he's rolling around on the floor sulking because he's got, done over and he's trying to make out he's injured. I'm sick of Odegaard's performances, let alone his captaincy. Tony Adams was right when he come out and said that it should be Declan Rice. And everyone said, he's an old drunken, he don't know what he's talking about because they're trying to stick up for the manager and stick up for Odegaard. Let's just be realistic. He is not a manager. He's not a captain or a leader. He might be good in the dressing room and he might lead by the press and he might be a good role model and he might be talking to the players behind the scenes and bigging them up. But when you've got somebody like Thomas Partey who goes and gets himself suspended against PSG, who's telling him off? Declan Rice. When you've got a scrap going on, where's Odegaard? He's hiding. You've got Declan Rice in people's faces. Gabriel grabbing people by the scruff of the neck, getting head to head with them. You've got Haaland saying, be humble. Gabriel's trying to fight him. Odegaard's running away. I know it's old school and football's changed. Maybe I am too old school, man. Yeah, I'm getting older now, unfortunately. But when you look at it, I look at Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane's, Vincent Kompany's, Steven Gerrard's, John Terry's. They're my leaders and captains in my team. You look at it now, Martin Odegaard is not a cat. You put Martin Keown next to Roy Keane. Roy Keane would eat him alive, bruv. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is the problem I've got with it, man. And look, it ain't just Arsenal. It's happening at a lot of clubs now. It ain't always about the
I say that a lot. I said that to him on the channel. I said, listen, this isn't an Arsenal thing. I think that a lot of managers, especially from Europe, they don't really care about the man. I think in England, the captaincy is bigger than for fans. And, well, I think it's just bigger in our culture than it is maybe in some European countries. But, yeah, like for me, Declan Rice, I think Declan Rice would be a phenomenal captain. And by the way, people will laugh at this because they'll just, they'll play it down. Didn't he captain fucking West Ham to the final?
Yeah, he did, mate. Yeah,
he was the captain that year, wasn't he, to the Conference League. And I know people will shit all over it.
And
saying,
he'll
"Oh, it's
take
Conference
the
League."
England captaincy when Kane goes as well.
Yeah, he'll probably take the
100%.
England captaincy as well. This guy's literally a born leader. By the way, he saved your fucking ass yesterday. Do you remember when I think it was Rico Henry cut the ball
Yeah.
across? And
He
I
cut
think
across
maybe,
and nicked it.
bro,
Yeah.
he's literally just about to shoot right in front of goal, and he gets a foot in and clears it away. I thought, fucking hell. By the way, he's another player that you look like you're running into the ground, so you need to be careful there. But we will come on to City in a minute, yeah. But the last point I want to do, and I'll come to the super chats in a sec, boys, yeah. The transfer window ended 10 days ago today, right? City go out there, and obviously a little bit of it's injury forced because we had obviously Gvardiol broke his leg, Diaz was out for 6 weeks, but we went out there, yeah, and signed Mark Gay for 20 million, and we went and signed Semenyo, the third highest goal scorer in the league, the best goal scoring winger in the league this season. Arsenal, yeah, yet again, do very little. Did you do? Yeah, I think you didn't sign anyone, did you?
Of course we didn't, bruv.
No. So I look at this again, and I go back to 3 years ago when you were unexpectedly top of the league in January, and you signed Jorginho, Trossard, and someone else. Kivior. Why do Arsenal Football Club not put the foot down, yeah, on the accelerator in January and go, you know what, we're fucking grabbing this title, yeah? What do we need? We need an attacker, right? Who's the best fucking left winger in world football? Who can we go and get? Go and get Yildiz? Can we go get Rodrigo out of Real Madrid and help this squad and push it? Why do Arsenal Football Club, yeah, from a rival point of view, why do you guys not do that? Is it sort of, I don't know. Do you have an answer? Like, what's the PR that comes out from the club? There must be something that they say.
Yeah. I hoped it would be different this January because of Andrea Berta, but I kind of feel like he said there's 8 players in the summer. Let me know if you need me again in January. And they've decided as a collective we didn't need anything. Now, look, I'm not saying our squad's short or shocking. However, you're right to bring up the previous years because in 22-23, we found ourselves 8 points clear. I never thought we'd be 8 points clear. If you remember back then, LB, we were tipped to get top 4. That was what we were tipped to do. It wasn't tipped to go to title race. We bought Jesus and Zinchenko off of you boys. We added a couple of other players and we thought, right, let's go and see what we can do now. We found ourselves in a position we didn't expect to be in. And we were linked with Caicedo and Mudryk. Now, I know Mudryk's laughable now, but at the time, a lot of people wanted him and he was supposed to be this big winger that was going to come and do bits. But Caicedo was one that excited me. We ended up getting Trossard and Jorginho. Now, as much as you can laugh and say Mudryk was not the guy and Trossard, you're so lucky you got Trossard, I think he's been sensational for Arsenal in terms of what we bought him for, 26 million. You can't really ask for much more. He's been brilliant for us. But in the middle, we got Jorginho, who did a job, but it's a little bit underwhelming, isn't it? Deflating when you link with Caicedo and you pull out Jorginho, right? We weren't able to go and get Caicedo. He was £70 million at the time, £80 million. He ended up going to Chelsea a couple of years later for about 100 and whatever it was. But we would have quite easily been able to get him if we would have had a little bit more balls. But we didn't do it.
Can I just interrupt you one sec? Yeah, I think this guy's an Arsenal fan. Mate, I'm sorry. This is the biggest fucking myth ever. You've been fucking PR converted, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're not getting elite level players in January. What are you waffling about? You put the money on the table. Spain, contractual obligation. They've all got release clauses. Contractually, you can get any player you want out of La Liga. They've all got contract release clauses. This is the biggest load of PR nonsense. Yeah, I don't know why everybody goes on about this. It's the biggest fucking myth in football. You can't get players out in January. Why don't they just scrap the January transfer window then? If this is true, and we all agree that, you can't actually sign anybody in January, just why does it exist? Why have the FA and all the football leagues just go, you know what, we're going to delete?
This is an Arsenal fan. I guess this is an Arsenal fan.
I don't know. I think it is, but it's just the biggest fucking load of bullshit I hear all the time.
Big up to you, bro, but you're not on my level here. Look, I think Guehi and Semenyo are 2 great players. Whether you think they're elite level, we'll see, won't we, with Manchester City? But certainly been 2 very good signings. I think Guehi's got player of the match in every single Man City game so far, and Semenyo's got about 6 goals in about 10 games, hasn't he? So they've been excellent signings. But look, is Aubameyang elite? We signed him in January. Is Van Dijk elite? We signed him in January. Is Andrea Sharvin, when we got him, was he elite? We signed him in January.
Well, we signed
Mahrez.
We got Mahrez. United got Sanchez. I think, didn't they get him in January?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we got Marmoush from Germany. I know he's not cooked really, but he was the top goal scorer and the top GA merchant last January. We got Gay, we got Semenyo, we got Laporte. It's a little BS,
Honestly,
man.
it's the biggest BS I've heard.
You're
man.
telling me if Arsenal went to Yildiz in January, yeah?
Yeah.
I know he's just signed a new contract now. You telling me, and Yildiz a baller, yeah, I can't lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're
I
telling
want
me
him,
you
I
got
want
a
him.
Juventus and say Juventus is skint, by the way. I did some research. I don't know if they fixed it, but I looked at it back in the summer. Yeah, they've got mad debts and shit. You go put 70 mil on the table for Yildiz and say, listen, mate, you're gonna go from 60, 70 grand a week to 200 grand a week. You telling me he's not doing that? Or you tell me you got a Real Madrid, Rodrigo, who's started about 10 games and go, Rodrigo, do you want to fucking come to Arsenal and win us a league? Real Madrid, here's 100 mil, here's 300 grand a week, top baller. Get him in.
Right.
Like, it's not a BS, man.
Oh, someone's just said in the chat, Kvaratskhelia, PSG. That won him the Champions League.
Kvaratskhelia, PSG, January transfer window. Sanchez, United, January transfer window. Matt Gay, Semenyo. Bro, there's fucking loads.
No, it is crazy, man. But and this is what I mean about Arsenal in the last few January transfer windows, because obviously we had the shambles of last year, which I was coming on to next, which was 0 strikers. We put in a bid for Ollie Watkins, allegedly, on the last game of the season. And we decided to try and win a Champions League with Mourinho up front. Now, look, big up to Mourinho because he actually did well, and I actually do think he's been more effective.
Lookman.
There you go. He's gone to
I
Athletic
fucking said
Madrid.
in the summer, yeah. I said in the summer
Great
when
signing.
he was still at Atalanta, I said Arsenal should go and get Adelomo Lookman. Yeah, and now he's just gone. And they told me yesterday, I didn't even know he went.
Doing well.
The chat told me 40 million. 40 million for Lookman. This guy scored a European final hat trick, bro. Yeah, no, 100%. But I rate the guy highly, man. I watched this guy cook Real Madrid. Was it this season or last season? Can't remember. I watched Atalanta v Real Madrid.
He'd have been a good signing for most of the top 4, most of the top 5 clubs.
100%. I would have took him.
Saying. And he's balling out apparently already at Atletico Madrid. I was speaking to Lee, and he watches La Liga. I don't, but he said he's doing well. And
I watched the highlights from yesterday's game because Atletico slapped up Barca. Bro, the guy was cooking.
There you go. See, and that's what I'm saying.
40 million.
I don't know, man. Like we all know where Arsenal needs to strengthen. We have strengthened a lot in the summer. I still think we need to get an upgrade on the left-hand side. I still think we need a striker, and I still think we need an attacking midfielder. And if those players need to be in the level of Morgan Rogers and Yildiz, like you've said, not Trossard replacements. We need to be Trossard upgrades and Martinelli upgrades and Ødegaard upgrades. Now these players have got us to this far, but they haven't been able to get us across the line yet. So go and get them. Upgraded. That's what I think. But you're right to mention January, because you've sat there and gone, right, we've got a bit of a crisis at the back. Let's go and get Mark Guehi, which is a bargain, by the way. And then Semenyo, who, I'm not going to lie, I said to judges in the summer, I said, would you take Semenyo? He said, absolutely. I said, would you take him over Madueke? We both went, absolutely. Well, we've signed Madueke, brother. Now, look, nothing against Noni. He's still young and all that, but he's just a hell of a lot more underwhelming than Semenyo. And I know Semenyo was more money, but I'd rather have paid 10 million more, released his clause and got him, than to stick with Madueke. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like Man City's done what Man City needed to do, and that's strengthen and maximise every window. And Arsenal haven't maximised every window, and I think that's key. Look, I don't think that will be the reason we don't win the league, by the way, because I still think the squad is good enough, and I still think there's no excuses. But you would have thought they would have maximised the window. And on top of that, before I end, Ethan Nwaneri was sent out on loan, bruv. Right? Yeah. And I said, don't send him out on loan. Keep him.
His first game as well. Do you see that goal?
First game he cooked and scored, right? 13 minutes.
Man.
I was like, fucking hell. And then on top of that, Marino's now out for the season. Havertz is out for 5 weeks. And we've got problems here with Ødegaard and Eze's performances in that position. Noni Madueke is backing up Saka, who looks crocked at the moment. He can play on the right. So we've got Ethan Nwaneri who can play in that 10 and on that right where people have got problems at the moment. And he's balling out for Marseille. What is the point of that? We might as well have kept him, bruv. Max Dowman's got to come back. I get that and I hear that. But, let's be real.
He's a 15-year-old.
He's a 15-year-old kid, man.
Like, what are we doing here? Unbelievable. Nah, listen, man. Bro, to be honest with you, I was literally just before we move on to City, I was literally going to say, you know what I would do if I was Arsenal? I'd drop Gyökeres and I'd play either Marino or Havertz up top, but they're both fucking injured.
They're both crocs, bruv. Do you know what's funny? I said to Tom Canton today, right? We sold Granit Xhaka 3 years ago, and we signed Havertz to replace him, right, in the attacking 8. Then we bought Marino to replace that role because we thought Havertz was a striker. And it turns out that Marino is probably our best 9 and Havertz is our best 10. And we ended up fucking buying both of those to replace Granit Xhaka. I mean, come on, man. It's been a bit of a disaster, really, in that respect. So, yeah, man, it wouldn't surprise me if we go back in the market again. The thing is, I've got more faith in Berta than I ever had in Edu. I mean, look at what he's doing at Forest. It's a shambles, right? And that was our old guy. So Berta, for me, you can't question what he's done. Look at the signing of Mosquera. How good's he? Like, let's be real, 21.
Yeah, he did well. He did well yesterday. Because
Last night he was excellent.
Igor got ahead of him, didn't he?
Yeah,
I know
it's
poor. Yeah. It's poor from him. He had a shocker yesterday. Do you know his pass accuracy was 33%?
Yeah, he was shambles. He was. Yeah,
he was shocking.
Luckily for us, he was.
Yeah, Mosquera got back well there. Yeah, no, I think for Arsenal now, they just need to win a few games in a row, don't they? Build the confidence back up. Beat Wolves. It'd be nice for you. It'd be nice if you slapped them up. And then just try and if you have to shithouse a couple of results, 1-0, 1-0, you just need to start winning football matches again, man. Calm everybody down. But we'll see what happens, man. Let me go through some of these chats and we'll talk about City as well, because I want to get Dan's view on City's last couple of games. Shout out to Parlay. Says, if Arsenal drop points before they play us again, they'll be sweating before they even go on the field. Well, yeah, at the moment, listen, Arsenal fans maybe having a little bit of a wobble, but the league is still in their hands. Yeah, I still need to. They don't have to watch City games. They don't need to watch a single City match because the league is in their hands, bar Arsenal City, of course. City still need to watch Arsenal games. I still need to be in the hate watches because City can win every game for the rest of the season and still not win the league. So it's still in Arsenal's hands. It's theirs to lose. Yeah, but obviously at the moment, they're having a bit of a wobble. 2 wins in 6. Shout out to Massum. Says, this time of the season, it doesn't really matter what team you're playing. It's what state the team is in. Are they playing something? Big boy pressure. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying to Dan before, and I said it to Hussam yesterday. Yeah, don't matter who Arsenal beat in September, October. Oh, but they beat Bayern. They beat Bayern in a fucking league phase, match day 4 of the Champions League phase. Great win. Don't get me wrong, but the pressure is not the pressure. Yeah, going to fucking Brentford on a Wednesday night, knowing that you've got a win to keep your lead at 6 points when City have just won 2 in a row. I'm telling you now, that's a bigger fucking pressure game than Bayern Munich at home, match day 4 of the Champions League phase. I'm telling you now. Yeah, Wolves on Wednesday. The pressure's high. You'll laugh. But the pressure, the pressure the Arsenal players are under on Wednesday going out on that, because they know, bro, if you don't beat Wolves on Wednesday, emergency meeting settings, man. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing 12-hour league on streams, man, because we know for a fact that's what's going to happen, because you can't afford to drop points against Wolves. If Arsenal drew against Bayern Munich on match day 4 league phase Champions League, who gives a fuck? Don't matter. Good result. You move. Like, this is where it matters, and this is where like good teams are made. Yeah, and City have got across the line, Liverpool have got across the line, and Arsenal need to get across the line. Listen, people will rightly talk about Arsenal's form at the moment, 2 wins and 6, and some Arsenal fans will have a wobble. But winning the league is not easy. Yeah, and this was always going to happen. It's about how do you respond. Wolves, Wednesday night, Arsenal eat a full send it, man. Yeah. Big up to Masson, bro. Big up to you, mate. Big up to Nathaniel, Liverpool fan. It says, Arsenal fan said this title win will be better than Liverpool's last year, but we were clear, and you're trying your hardest to keep City in it. Well, according to your mate, United are more of a rival for this Premier League title than City, man. Yeah, I've got the clip, man. If we win the league, if we win the league, Christian, man, I'm gonna do some little clipping and editing, mate. You're gonna get cooked, mate. I can't lie.
He was getting absolutely trolled, bro. He's getting trolled. He messaged me saying, "Oh, I've said this on Sky. I'm getting absolute pelters." I was like, "What is it?" I read it. I went, "Bro, what are you saying?" Man United are a good side now. They look like they're gonna, settle a bit, but they, City are definitely the contenders, man. Without that.
Yeah. Brother, I expect Arsenal to win. I expect Arsenal to beat Wolves. I expect Arsenal to beat Wolves like 4-0, if I'm being completely honest with you. But it's pressure. Pressure does weird things to people and teams. Like, who knows? Like, bro, I fully expect Arsenal to win. If I'm going to bookies, I'm putting Arsenal -3. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But it's pressure. Pressure does mad shit. Pressure does mad shit. And you should know this. You dropped points to West Ham when you was 2-0 up, weren't you? Was you 2-0 up or 2-0 down?
2-0 up, yeah.
2-0 up, West Ham, cruising. Then you drew 2-2. Then you missed a penalty. Saka. Why? Pressure. Southampton at home. Dead team. Yeah, it's pressure, bro. Like, until you understand that. Like, for me, this is why I told Hussam yesterday when Hussam started chatting about, Arsenal have got easier fixtures. I said, I don't give a shit because it's irrelevant. It's pressure that matters, man. Yeah.
No, I expect you to beat Newcastle quite comfortably, but you never know because they can turn it on. Like Newcastle, they're in a bit of trouble. You know what I'm saying? They want to react. They've obviously gone out the cups. They want to go into the situation now to try and finish as high as they can above the league. I expect Man City to win, but you never know, do you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm confident for the Newcastle game. They've not beat us since 2014 at the Etihad, and they play on Wednesday, Champions League. against Karabakh, and we got a full week off.
Yeah.
So, you know, and not only that, Saturday night, you play on a Sunday. So obviously, say you win, it goes to 7 points. Yeah, the gap will be extended. So we need to win the game anyway. So City should be going into that Newcastle game going, we need to win because we're 7 points behind Arsenal. It's Saturday night. Yeah, fans, a couple of them haven't got on the base. You know, the atmosphere should be decent. Everyone's fucking on it. You know what I'm saying? And we know slim chance because fucking Spurs are shit and they've just appointed a manager that's not won a game in his last 8 matches. But there's a chance. You never know. It's a derby. Who knows? Something could happen on the Sunday. I don't think it will. I think
that's a weird appointment. That is, man. I don't get that.
One of my mates just sent me his last. Oh, I think it was in the Race for Europe chat.
Yeah, it is Wolfie, I think. Yeah.
Igor Tudor's last 8 games as a manager hasn't won a single match. So great appointment, Spurs. But I'll be supporting him on Sunday. Shout out MK says Haaland has 50 GA this season. Is there anyone who has 20 GA for this season for Arsenal? They need a superstar who can win games even when they're shit. You know, in many respects, MK, City and Arsenal are the complete opposite. Like, we heavily rely, less so now that we've got Semenyo, but we heavily rely on Haaland for goals. Yeah? And that's cool. When you have a striker like that, you want all the chances going to him. It's probably similar at Bayern Munich with Kane, right? Arsenal are the complete opposite. Yeah. Now, maybe they expected Gyökeres to be that guy, but it's not worked out. They're very much a team where the goals are spread around. You look at Arsenal, how many players are between 3, 4, and 6, 7 Premier League goals? They probably got about 5 or 6. I don't know the stats. I imagine that's probably true. Whereas City, you've got like Haaland on like fucking 20 or whatever, and then everybody else is on like 2, 3. Now that's cool. There's more than one way to win a league. Yeah, but I don't know.
I'll give you this stat quick, bruv, because Tom Camden, big up to Tom. He said this earlier. Let me just read this out. In the 23-24 season, which was the season where we were fighting with you right to the last game, after 26 games, 79% of Arsenal's goals, which was 62 goals, were scored by their forwards or their attackers. At the same stage of last season, it dropped to 66% of just 51 goals. This season, right, get this, 58% of our goals have come from attackers or midfielders. Majority of them have come. The other lot have come from our defence.
So 50% of your goals have come from
58% of our goals have come from attack.
Wow.
The rest of it's come from our defence. And like you say, you rely on Haaland. You don't really now. You rely on there's quite a few people that are scoring goals for you. What we're doing, that super chat, big up to him. We've got no one who's got 50 goals and assists, but he asked about 20 goals and assists. Gyökeres and Eze have got 14 combined. Do you know what I mean? And
is that Premier League? Is that
Premier League? Sorry, that's Premier League. Yeah. So I guess that's what he means, Premier League.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking they're the 2 signings we bought, and we spent over 120 million on both of them, and they've got 14 goals and assists combined. In I know we're only in February, but come on, man, that's not great. Do you know what I'm saying?
I would sort of like, even though I do think he's been poor, and yesterday he was shit, Eze. Yeah. I still personally see Eze as a squad rotation player.
100%. 100%.
And I always said that at the start of the season. That's why I don't really cook him too much. I cook the likes of Odegaard and Gyökeres. I still think he's massively underperformed. And Saka. Because these for me are starters. Gyökeres last night as well, man. I don't know about this guy, Dan Potts. Yeah, I don't know. Bro, I'll be real, man. Like, I think you were better when you were playing Marino up top, mate.
Yeah, we were, bro.
I've been deadly serious, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, no. We were.
Cooler says if City lose the final, it's 3 in a row. Nice one, mate. Cheers for that. Well, let's speak about City then, man.
Is it 3 in a row? Who did you lose to the other 2 then?
We lost, unless he is he on about Community Shield?
He didn't lose 3 finals, surely.
We lost against United. Is he on about Community Shield?
Palace United. Yeah. So this will be 3. So it'll be United, Palace, and then Arsenal if you lose.
He's talking about it will be 3 in a row. Community Shield. Yeah. He's right. It'll be 3 in a row. That's fucking disgusting. I can't lie. All right. Let's come on to City then, bro. So City, you know what's mad about you know what's crazy? It's fucking it's a bit annoying because I've said it all the time and then I completely just ignored it. I always say, when you play a game every 3 days, you can quickly find yourself on a mad run, good or bad, right?
Yeah.
And then I've completely missed the fact that Arsenal are now on a 2 wins in 6, and City have won 3 out of the last 4 in a draw in the Premier League. Like, I didn't even fucking realise. I looked at the table yesterday. I was like, wait, we're on a 4-match unbeaten streak. We've won 3 out of our last 4. We've won, and then Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's like, it's mad. It's sort of like just.
It was quick, man.
I heard judges as well say it yesterday on I don't know what he was on, but I heard judges say
probably, yeah.
he didn't even realise that Arsenal had won 2 out of 6 because of all the games, because all the cup matches.
Yeah.
You got Carabao Cup semi-finals, you got FA Cup, you got Champions League, and it's all just like in between the Prem games. And then you look back and go, oh, let me do Prem form only. You go, oh shit, we've won 3 out of our last 4. Or you go, oh crap, we've won 2 out of our last 6. You don't even realise, do you?
No,
but,
you don't,
come on to City then, bro. Yeah, like where are you at with City? Because obviously we went to Anfield, massive win that. Like I've only seen that 3 times in my whole life. So for me, that's just historic. A historic win for us anyway. That was only the 2nd time we've won there with fans in my lifetime. Yeah, that's how mad that is. Anelka scored the winner. Yeah, it was a cracking thing. I don't know if you remember the goal, but it was a great finish as well.
I think it was a year we went unbeaten. You know, that's how long ago it was. Like 20 years ago.
It was 2003, 2004 season.
Yeah, there you go. That was the year we won the league. So
that was what it was. But yeah, bro, it was. What you make of City at the moment? Because in fact, I'm going to give you my opinion. Well, what do you think of City?
I mean, yeah. Look, like, what do I think of City? All right, look. Let me go into it. I'll say this before people start coming in and getting rattled and stuff. I don't think that this is the Manchester City of the treble winners and the Centurions here. However, I don't think you need to be that to win the league. So I feel like this is a version of City that probably aren't happy with himself. I don't think Manchester City fans, from my understanding, are that happy. Now, it shows you the standards of your club because you're not happy. You're in a Carabao Cup final. You're in the Champions League. You're in 4 points behind the leaders and still in the FA Cup, right? And you're still not happy because you want to be, better, which I get. I think if Manchester City win this league, take Arsenal out the equation, because I do think it will be Arsenal losing it, not Man City winning it. However, I think if we look as to why they've won it, I think it's their summer and January that's won them this league. And the reason I say that is because we've mentioned Guehi and Semenyo, who I think have taken you to the next level. I think Semenyo is now firing in goals, not just Haaland. I think he's creating goals as well. And I also think Mark Guehi has solidified some of your shaky defense, which I don't think was too shaky. But when you lose Diaz and Vardy, you haven't got the quality, have you? So Guehi came in, for me, was probably alongside Gabriel one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League this season for Palace. And Semenyo was definitely one of the best wingers in the league this season. And he's continued that now with Manchester City. Then you go back to your summer. I don't think people have spoken enough about the Donnarumma signing. I thought that was an elite signing. I told you 3 games in, you ain't winning the league with James Trafford in goal. And I know you didn't want to say, I agree, but I think you did deep down. Like, James Trafford is not an elite level, world-class goalkeeper. Donnarumma is. And this is why I always say with Chelsea, Sanchez done well this season, but he's not world-class. Go and get a Petr Cech or a Courtois. Do you know what I mean? Go and find one. You have with Donnarumma. You've gone and gotten a world-class goalkeeper, because alongside Alisson and, probably our goalkeeper now, he's one of the best in the world, in my opinion, alongside Courtois. So I think that signing was outstanding. I also think Ryan Cherky was an unbelievable bit of business for 25, 30 million. I think he's going to score in goals and give you some of that creativity. So I look now and I think, yeah, that window was actually pretty good. Like, I know Reinders ain't done it, but maybe I went over the top, but I thought that was an unbelievably good signing. I really did. You add on to the fact that you got Pep Guardiola. Now, I don't know about ULB, but when I look at what your fullback situation was, I was questioning what the hell was going on. I'm used to Kyle Walker and Nathan Ake and all the guys you've had in your fullback scenarios. And to bring in 2 midfielders and put them at fullback is genius at work, really. I never, ever thought that he'd do that. Because I do think that Nunez has been quite an underrated player for you this season, in my opinion, at right back.
He's been fantastic, bro. I think he's been one of the best right backs in the league.
I do. I think he's been consistently good. I think his crossing ability is very underappreciated and not spoken about enough. And also, O'Reilly's been very good. I never expected to see much of him in the Man City side, let alone playing at the first team at left back. So I think he deserved praise there. But I will say this: I do think Manchester City is going to drop points still. Now, I think Arsenal would as well.
Yeah. I agree.
Man City are going to drop points, and where they're going to drop points. Because I've seen you against Brighton. I never fancied you to win that game. When they scored, I wasn't surprised that they equalised. Watched that game hoping they would. And when they did, I was like, there we go. There it is. I went to the darts a couple of weekends ago, And I was watching, the darts was on before we went to the venue. The darts was on in one of the Holiday Inns that we were staying in on ITV4. We were watching that, and on my phone I had the Man City game, and I went, fucking 2-0, turn that crap off. And I went to the darts, and then I got buzz, 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 and I thought, what the hell's going on here? I said to my old man, I said, Tottenham are bloody equalised here. How the hell have they done that? So I didn't watch that second half. Apparently it was a shambles.
Oh yeah,
and
it was shocking. We should have lost.
So there you go. So I think Man City can have that result in them. I just think it's about how you handle the pressure now as well as Arsenal, because there will be pressure on Man City. There's pressure on both of us. But I've got more faith in how Man City handle pressure than how Arsenal are. Only going off of past seasons. I think Manchester City, let me give you a quick example. I don't think Arsenal win that game at Anfield. So Bosley scores that free kick with 9 minutes to go. Arsenal lose that game. Manchester City have found something within them. It wasn't through unbelievable quality, by the way. I don't think Man City blitzed Liverpool that day. I think what Man City did was found a way. It was a great bit of skill from Bernardo. It's actually a very good goal. I know Szoboszlai is keeping him on, but it's a good goal. And then obviously Alisson gives you a lifeline because he's had a bozo moment, right? So you found a way. You got through it. I don't think Arsenal do that. You know, we conceded against Szoboszlai's free kick, shit ourselves, and lost 1-0. That's the difference between this Arsenal side and the Man City side. So for me, I need to see a little bit more of mentality installed into this side. I need to see winning mentality. And then when I look at Manchester City, I don't think you're quite with it, but I do think Manchester City can improve. I'm not sure Arsenal can get much better.
Did you watch the Fulham game?
I watched the first 29 minutes and turned it off.
First. No, I get it, man. Because for me, right, I think in the last two games, I think Pep has addressed a major problem with the team, and that was the midfield, yeah? If you go back to the Bodo Glimt game and the United game, right, they were our crisis moments. That was the worst moment of the season for Manchester City fans, right? And Manchester City getting beat off Bodo Glimt. They've never beat an English club in the Champions League, right? And they get beat off United. Right. And we got fucking destroyed off United, right? The major issue for Manchester City, in my opinion, was our midfield. Yeah, we left Rodri exposed in midfield. We just come back from an ACL and he's trying to get fit. And then everyone's trying to tell me that he's washed when actually Pep Guardiola fucking hung him out to dry and sabotaged the team. What Pep's then done since then is he's put Nico O'Reilly into midfield with Rodri. And this, for me, has been an absolutely tactical master class from Pep Guardiola. Because one thing that our midfield's been missing for 18 months, and the greatest player that's ever played for this football club, Kevin De Bruyne, said this himself last year, is our midfield is soft. It doesn't have physicality in it. And what Nico O'Reilly's done, he's brought physicality to that midfield alongside Rodri. And now, last couple of games, everyone's glazing Rodri again. Everyone's going, oh, Rodri's mint. You fucking idiots. He would have been fine if he played someone next to him against United or Bodo Glimt. Now he's put Nico O'Reilly next to him. It's taking the pressure. Rodri doesn't have to be everywhere in midfield like he did against United and Bodo Glimt because Nico O'Reilly sat next to him or Bernardo's helping him out. And what he's done now, he's packed out that midfield. He's got Nico O'Reilly in there, Rodri, and Bernardo's in and about it as well. So you've gone from a midfield with one player effectively in Rodri, to a team now with three players in that midfield, and it's completely locked it off. I looked at the Fulham game. I watched the Fulham game. Second half, he wasn't great, Potts. Obviously you didn't watch it, but Fulham had a lot of the ball. We had one shot in the whole 45 minutes in the second half. Right? We were 3-0 up. It's not much of a big deal, right? Fulham had a lot of the ball, and they had the best chances in the second half, but they never really looked like scoring. Why? Because we forced them wide. Yeah, none of the central players got on the ball. The techie ballers were all on the wings. They were crossing the balls. They had a chance here or there or whatever, but they never really looked like opening us up. Whereas you go back to the United game, they scored about 7 goals in that match. Bodo Glimt scored about 7 as well. They scored about 3 offside goals each in those games. So Pep, for me, has learned that he can't just stick Rodri on that midfield on his own. The Nico O'Reilly thing, getting back in there. By the way, Aït-Nouri is a big part of that because Aït-Nouri coming back from the AFCON has allowed him to put Nico O'Reilly into
he was cooking the other night. He was cooking when I watched you.
He was. Now, that has created its own problem in that because he's done that, we're now not as creative, in terms of open play football. Yeah, you're seeing it when he played Marmoush, Semenyo, Haaland up top against Liverpool. Didn't create nothing. And then in the last game, he played Foden. Foden's still not on it. So for me, the next step in the development of the team is to drop Marmoush, and play Cherky in the attack role. Have the three midfielders behind, Nico O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo. You say to them three, your job is to lock it off, protect the defense, and then Cherky, Semenyo, who's been, scoring a lot of goals, and Haaland, you guys go and score it. But I'm seeing, Potts, little improvements. I'm not going to sit here on this channel and say we've massively improved, because I don't think we have. I think we're seeing small, but I don't need City to be massively improved.
No.
We're 4 points off Arsenal. I need small improvements. The defense has improved. The midfield has improved. Now what I need is that attack to improve in terms of creativity. And I think the final fix for me, the final piece of the jigsaw, drop Marmoush, put Cherky in there, and I think we're ready to go. But honestly, I'm starting to believe. Last night, Potts, was the first time this season that I've truly believed that we can win the league. Yeah. I've said before, we can win the league, we can do it, we can. Last night was the first time after that Arsenal game, and gone, you know what? We can win this league. Now, who knows what's going to happen? I'm not sitting here saying we're going to win, because you've got Arsenal fans saying, you think you're going to win every game for the rest of the season? No, I don't. I think we will drop points, but I think Arsenal drop points as well. The question is, can we put some consistency in there? And I'm looking at the next 4 games, Pops, We got Newcastle at home, right? I've already told you. Yeah, obviously it's a tricky game. I'm going to say it's 6, but we've got a very good record.
I'd expect you to beat them, though.
Yeah, we've got them. Ellen rolled away. Tough match, I can't lie, and it's a night game. But we've got a week off, so there's no excuse.
We went there and trounced them. Trust me, they're not as great like us.
Yeah, we're going there. We've got a week off. We're not going to go there tired. It's not like we got a big, European night on the Wednesday. We've got a full week off. We're going there fresh, no excuses. Then we got Forest at home. Yeah, we got West Ham away, and then it's the Chelsea Arsenal back to back. So for me now, if we're serious, 4 wins on the bounce. Yeah. And see where we're at.
Well, the thing is, our 4 games,
starting to figure it out, man.
Our 4 games are Wolves away, Tottenham away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away. We've got 3 away games in that 4 run of games. I think they're going to be difficult. I don't think Wolves will be as easy as people say, because I think they're showing fight and pride, obviously away, but I think we beat them. Tottenham we should beat. We don't ever accept losing to those. But Chelsea and Brighton, it wouldn't surprise me if we drop points in either both or one of those, because I just feel like that's going to be so much pressure by then. It really is. And Brighton away is never easy. But once we get Wolves and Brighton out of the way, we literally travel to City away. That's it. Everything else is in London, home and away. Everything else. We've got Palace away. We've got
benefit travel.
Yeah. Fulham and West Ham, they're both at the Emirates. Burnley's at the Emirates. The only away games we got are like Palace at Sellers Park and one more. So I don't feel like we've got any excuses really. And look, I mean, your attack. I'll quickly look. I don't like Doku and Savio. They're not my sort of wingers. I don't like players who trick and just trickery but don't have any output. A bit like Madueke, he drives me insane. Yeah, Adama Traore is another one. Iwobi, Maximan, all those type. I think Doku's like that. You look at him and you think, oh, he's a tricky player. You think, oh, he scored 3 goals for City in 2 years. Bloody hell. Like, or whatever the hell he is. I think, Jesus, Savio's got 1 goal on him. Like, just dust them off, man. They're not good enough. Not for City. Foden, don't know what's happened to him. Again, like you see, you think, oh, where's he gone? Oh, there he is. Go. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's gone again. I feel like he's a bit like that, a bit like what Saka's done this year, Them two have been very similar in my opinion. I see people putting Foden in Team of the Year. I think, well, I don't really know what he's done, really. He scored a few good goals, but he's not been better than Semenyo. He's not been better than Rodgers. He's not been better than Bruno Fernandes. They're all going to be ahead of him, in my opinion, this season. But when you look at that, I think that you've got the right thing in with Semenyo now. I think Cherky, you've got to play him. I quite like Marmoush. I've got to be honest. I quite like him, but I don't know if the City fans do.
He's been poor, man. Marmoush has been poor. Marmoush, honestly, if you've been honest, Marmoush has been poor since the back end of last season, mate. He had a poor Club World Cup, and he's been. He had a good game recently. I think it was against Galatasaray. It was Galatasaray. I can't remember. Recently, he had a good game when he didn't play with Haaland, but I don't think he suits the system at all, man.
Your fans seem to like Doku, though, man. There are a lot of people like Doku.
Doku this season has actually been very good. He's been very impressive. He's still not had the numbers in terms of output that maybe we'd like.
Right.
But he's actually been.
Is it more like the
very-
creativity then? Because I look, I don't watch City like you guys do. So he's obviously had a better season than what I'm giving him credit for. I must say, I don't know how much you watch of Arsenal, but I watch City
I watch every game.
highlights, and yeah, you do, but I don't do watch along. So I don't do highlights. I do highlights of City or match of the day. And what I see from Doku is a lot of trickery. He cooked against Liverpool at your gaff. I thought he was unbelievable. In fact, I thought he was unplayable at the Etihad against Liverpool. And then I'm thinking, when did he last have a game like that? So it must be that he creates space for people or something, because he don't get any goals or assists, does he?
Nah, his numbers aren't great, to be honest with you. He's got 1 goal, 6 assists in the Prem. But yeah, he's got one Premier League goal. Yeah, so he's not really an output player, but he has been decent for us this year. Yeah, but this is where I think Semenyo comes into it, because Semenyo's the one that's now going to get the output. I don't think Semenyo's played particularly well for City since he signed, if I'm being honest with you. But the
output suggests he does. Yeah.
The output's crazy, but that's what we needed. We needed output, because if Haaland, basically, as people said, if Haaland doesn't score, who scores? Do you know what I mean? No one scores if Haaland. So now, obviously, getting Semenyo in there is going to be good. I think we've missed Doku, to be honest, mate. Since he got injured, I think we've actually really missed him. His ability to get out. I said yesterday on chat, I said, people, and including myself, we cook Savio because he's been shit this year, right? But the 2 best games he's played for us this season, Savio, yeah, in terms of like he had a good game against Villarreal, but just ignore that one for now, yeah. 2 of his best performances of this season came against Madrid away, when he come off the bench and we was under pressure, and Fulham away when we was the 5-4. Why? Why did he have good games in those games? I'll tell you why. Because we was under pressure, we was winning, and the opposition, Real Madrid and Fulham, were both trying to fucking get the equaliser, yeah? And he got on the ball and he carried it out. When you look at the last month that we've had, and we look at the second half performances, we've not had any players that can carry the ball out. They're all passes. Pass. Who's going to get me the ball? Just look at the defender and go, I'm going to knock it past you and beat you for pace and carry the team up the pitch. So as bad as Savio's been this year, and he has been bad, yeah, I actually think we've really missed Savio in the last month. Not to start, I don't want the guy starting, but to come off the bench and take the team up. You know what I mean? But I think the balance of the wingers now is a lot better now that we've signed Semenyo, because you are right. As good as Doku's been this year, the output's not there. Savio's not been good this year, and there's not any output, right? So you kind of like, the balance ain't right. And I've spoke about this for 18 months, yeah? Now you've got Semenyo in. He's now balanced you notice now, we still, me and the chat still talk about it, but we don't talk about the wingers as much. We talk about the midfield. We talk about mentality. We talk about second half performances. Why? Because Semenyo's coming in. He's got goals. So we're not talking about the wingers as much anymore. So the balance is a little bit better. Now, I think there's a potential that in the summer, we might let Savinho and Marmoush leave and go for another winger.
You should have sold him to Tottenham for 60 M's, man. That's what you should have done.
Well, yeah,
that would have been an unbelievable bit of business for you. Like, because in my opinion, I know you're saying you missed him and stuff with a squad player, but Tottenham, he's just basically going to go. He might as well retire instead of signing for Tottenham, mightn't you? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to win anything. You're just like lost there. So, in my opinion, but look, I personally, I feel like Man City have got enough. I don't think it's their attack that will let them down. If anything, it will be their defense, and I think you've managed to sort that out. I think he's come in and been very good. Diaz, I believe, is back now, unless I'm mistaken. So I think
Diaz is back. Yeah, Stones is back.
Yeah,
Rodri's obviously back. I think the only player. Let me get the Premier League. I think the only players that we've got now.
Big up to Martin. Hope you're well.
Yeah, big up Martin for the raid. We've got the only players that we've got out now is Kovacic, right? He's back in like.
I forgot you had him. To be fair, but
well, he's had him, but he's about 5 injuries this year.
Yeah.
Gavardio's obviously out until back end of the season with a broken leg.
That's a blow, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. But then we went to sign Doc. Who's that signed?
Gehi.
So he's been fucking mega, mate.
Yeah, he's so good, man. I told you he was quality, didn't I? I said he was a quality signing. That is a bargain.
Top baller. He's a fucking top baller, man.
He's the best England centre back now, without that.
Well, Billy reckons it's Konsa.
It's not Konsa. I like Konsa, but it's not Konsa. But he's not as good as Gehi, mate. He's not as good as Gehi. They're both better than Stones and Maguire, though. Probably the other two. So,
yeah.
I mean, Stones has been quality, but he's kind of come to an end now, in my opinion. Whereas the other two, I think, are better. But yeah, Gehi's quality, bro. Absolute quality signing.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap it up, bro, anything on? Do we need to talk about Villa, or do you think that I just think the fact that they don't play. I just think the fact that Aston Villa don't play Arsenal goes against them.
I think they'll get top 4. Like some people saying they're going to drop off now and come out the top 5. I don't see that happening. I think they're like 8. Are they 8 points off of dropping out, aren't they? They're 8 points.
8 points.
I don't see it being that much of a crumble. I know they've got some players out. McGinn's out. Kamara's out for the majority of the season. I think they've got problems with Tielemans as well. So their midfielders have got injured, but they're so stacked in midfield that I don't know that you'd notice it. And they made a couple of signings in January. I don't know, man. I respect Villa enough, and I think Unai Emery's done unbelievable there with what he picked up when they were 16th under Gerrard. But I don't think they're going to go for a title, bro. I think they're going to be in the top 4, personally.
Yeah, me too, man. And what do you make of this Igor guy at Spurs? You play him next weekend in the North London derby.
I'm not going to say anything, bro, because we play him next. But it's not a very, it's a pretty underwhelming signing for them, innit? I don't know what they do, Tottenham, going forward, bro. Like, real talk. I don't want to slag them off too much because we've got to play them next. But they've tried everything, bro. Their fans are confused.
Did you watch the Ange interview the other day?
Yeah, it was quality.
I thought it was a quality interview, man. But I've always said in it, Potsy, I think they've got an identity crisis, innit? That's what I've said for time. And he basically come out, Ange, and said the same thing. He said they don't know who they want to be. Like, you know, they've got the big stadium.
Conte did it, but in a more Italian aggressive way. Like, Ange just did it. Ange just did it in a respectful Australian way, right? But let's feel to dare is to do, but that's not what they want to do, you know? And I mean, I don't even know what the hell to dare is to do biz. Well, I don't understand any of that. But for me, like, look, they are a confused club. They're a depressed club. Their fan base don't know what they want. They want Levy out, even though he left 5 months ago because he was the problem. They're still shit now. He's gone. They've tried every single manager that you can think of, and I mean every single manager you can think of in terms of attributes. They've tried every attribute you want. You've got the man management of Harry Redknapp. You've got the project manager of Pochettino. You've got the system manager of Nuno. You've got the CV of Jose Mourinho, the win now manager of Conte, the attack-minded manager of Ange Postecoglou, and the Premier League proven manager that deserves a chance in Thomas Frank. And they've all failed. And the only ones that have ever done anything in terms of lifting silverware, they've sacked. Ange Postecoglou won, sacked. One day Ramos won the League Cup, sacked. Our old manager, George Graham, had to win them their first bloody trophy in God knows how long as a Tin Pot Cup. They lifted that and he went. So honestly, mate, like they are a joke of a club. They always have been. They're very mouthy. They're very arrogant. They obviously can't stand us. They give it to you all the time because they celebrate a trophy, which is we weak Man City again. And they don't actually do anything else. So I can't stand them, if I'm honest. And I hope that they do get relegated this season, which is a genuine possibility.
Yeah, it is. I think are they 5 points off safety now?
Yeah, and they've just signed Igor Tudor to keep him up.
Yeah, and West Ham, I think, play. Who did West Ham play? West Ham play Bournemouth at home, right? West Ham could beat Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Ham are in some decent form right now. Not Bournemouth are in decent form, but West Ham could beat Bournemouth. If
they needed to beat Man U, bro. They really needed to beat Man U the other night. I was like, oh, I was gutted, man.
I know, that was an L, man. But they could do. All right, man. Big up to you guys in the chat. Smash these likes up as well. If you've not done so already, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Potsy's channel. I go on Potsy's channel every Monday. Won't be on this Monday, though, bro. I don't know if you're doing a show anyway, because Girona are playing Barcelona. I'm doing a watch along, but I don't know if you did one. It's FA Cup anyway. But every Monday, man, 8 p.m. on Potsy's channel, Race for Europe is a top show. But you're on with Judges, yeah?
I'm with Judges at 5, actually, yeah. I've just set it up. If you could rate, that'd be sweet, bro. But yeah, no, it's 5 o'clock. It's going to be me, Judges, Tom Canton, and Simon Miller. And that'll be a good panel because all of us kind of disagree, really, about where Arsenal are. So it should be quite a good debate, man, on Judges TV. But yeah, go show some love. And I'll be on mine later on, 12th, man. I might do a live or I might just put an upload out about how I'm feeling about Arsenal after last night. And over the weekend, man, build up to Wigan at home. And you got Salford, didn't you, at home?
Yeah, we got Salford at home. We played them last year. I think we scored 9 against them.
She got 10 against Exeter, didn't you? So you still even get 10 again, mate.
So let's see what happens, man. But all right, and boys, big up, man. Hey, lads, smash these likes up before you go. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you're watching back on a replay, give us your thoughts and comments. Where do you see the Premier League going? Pros and cons for both teams. Let us know in the comment section below. And catch you in the next one. Peace out, boys.